Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing this evening? Happy Wednesday once again. Welcome to P.O.G. episode 14. I am your host, the dustiest. I am the one. The dusty one. I am the Dusty Uno. Welcome to G-Wave TV. This is the P.O.G. cast, episode 14. Yeah! We're almost at 15 episodes, baby. Who wants to be on episode 15? We got some stuff to talk about, but we chillin' tonight, you know. We just hanging out. I was messing around a little bit with StreamYard earlier, because I do have an account on there. I don't pay for it right now, but they added some new features to the free tier, and the new features actually make StreamYard look more appealing, you know? Because before, you didn't really get much features on the free tier, and you know, you get that StreamYard logo, and it would just kill everything, right? But with the new features that they added recently, or however long ago, with having that watermark logo on the free tier is actually like, you don't even really notice it now, because you're able to customize it a little bit more to take attention away from that. So for the next episode, I might be trying out StreamYard again. For now, we'll see how that goes. Not that I don't really have a problem with OBS, to be honest with you. Like, unless there's like a weird update, I don't really usually have issues. So that's been pretty good for now. But in the event that something goes wrong, you know, StreamYard is a good tool to have. So we'll see what happens. But regardless, hope everybody's having a good one. Don't forget to share the stream out to all your friends and everyone you know. Whether you're at home chilling, you're over at the gym working out. Shout out to Richter. Get it in, bro. Or you're at home with your kids. Just know that I love you. But yeah, share the stream out, hit subscribe, give a like. Whether you're catching the replay or you're catching the live, you know the vibe. So let's get into it. Cheers, Dreadpool. Glad to have you here, brother. Feel free to hop in anytime you want. By all means. So the question of the stream is, what are you playing right now? And if you're not playing something right now because you're waiting for something to drop, then what are you waiting to play right now is the question. So that's the question for the stream. Feel free to chime in through the chat. Yeah! But what are you playing right now? What is the game of your choice? Is it something new? Is it something retro? Is it AAA? Is it indie? You know, is it console, PC, mobile? You know, is it on cloud? Doesn't matter. That's the question of the stream. What are you playing right now? So, but the first thing I wanted to get into for this episode is the first subject in the title, I'll save that for the second topic. The first thing I want to talk about is, are PlayStation fanboys quitting? Are they giving up? Are they not holding the line, so to speak? Are PlayStation fanboys retiring? Are they quitting gaming? Like, what is going on here? Hey, shout out to Talos Ray in the chat. Much love to you, fam. I'm playing Achilles Gears. Nice. That's what's up. Achilles Gears. Wait, what? Achilles Gears. Let me refresh myself. Do 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 do. Ooh, do do. Oh, Achilles. Oh, okay. What? Why am I so confused? They finally growing up. Yep. How's it going, Dusty? It's going good. You know, I had a good birthday on Saturday. Had a really good weekend. You know, positive things are happening all around me. So, just trying to keep that energy going. I'm playing Stay Awake Zombie in real life. Dude, that's been me every day. Like, I come home and I'm like, okay, I want a game. I haven't gamed. I've been so tired from work and just everything going on in life. I've been so mentally drained. And I finally get to go home and I don't have anything else to do. This was yesterday. And I get home and it was like as if 4 hours just went by like 20 minutes. I didn't play a goddamn thing. And next thing I know, I'm going to bed. So it's been a struggle in the last like month or so for me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Richard Smith says, unlock that new PSP PlayStation Puberty. Oh my god, I can't with you. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much, brother. I can't believe I'm 38. It's crazy. Talos Ray said, oh yeah, happy birthday for the other day. Thank you so much, Talos. Thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. That means a lot. Once again, don't forget to share the stream out with your friends. Let them know where we at for the evening. We back at our regular day and time. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. PST. Any other time is a specialty. So, are PlayStation fanboys giving up? Because according to, who is it? MBG? If Microsoft becomes the market leader, when they become number one, he's gonna quit? He's gonna give up? Like Dreadpool, I wish you were available right now, because I would love to get your perspective on this, because like I don't even know. Hold on, let me switch to this screen real quick. Like, I don't even know. That's just so extreme to me. That's so dramatic to me that you would literally give up. Oh shit, Dreadpool dropped in. Hell yeah, let's go. That's what's up. Hold on, let me switch my Discords up. That one? Is that the correct one? There we go. Let's close that one. Wait, what's this one? Oh, that's sound. What's up, Dreadpool?
What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hell yeah.
Alright.
Let me turn the music down just a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm at work, so it's going to be a little awkward for the audio, but it is what it is.
No, you're good. You're good. You sound good. So, real quick, since you're at work, and thank you for taking the time to jump in, ladies and gentlemen, Dreadpool.
What's up?
How dramatic of a human do you have to be to where you have to give up, to where you just, I mean, we all know he's not being serious, but let's say if he was, you would give up gaming or quit whatever it is that you're doing because a company becomes a market leader, because they become number one, and not even by like deceptive practices, but just because they outsell your preferred platform. What? Like, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense of this to me.
Well, here's the funny part, right? If they become the market leader, they're not going to become the market leader in console sales like the other people that we know.
Yeah.
So, and that's the funny thing. They figured out their own way to be competitive. And now the prospect of them being a market leader is detrimental to their health, that they have to threaten that they're going to quit, which we know it's a call for help. It's a call for attention. I've known many others that were in the digital versus physical space, that if we ever go all digital, that they'll quit gaming in general. And it's like, no, you don't. You know, you're just you're crying to cry wolf. You're crying to get that attention. That's all it is. Because we're literally talking about them right now. You know what I mean? And granted, I'm referencing somebody else from probably about 2 years ago that had almost 3 years ago, that had a royal fit online one day and blew up on his own podcast members. And yeah, I mean, it was for lack of a better word, it was a shit show, you know. And it was the anniversary show for them.
Yikes.
And this, you know what I mean? And this guy blew up because he didn't want to listen to the other side of, hey, you know, here we go with digital's going to happen. It's where it's going. It's easier, and you know, there's many faults to it, just as well as benefits. But this guy didn't want to listen to it. It's all physical or nothing, and get out of my face. And it's like, we stop.
Which I was just gonna say, which is like, you know, that becomes one of those moments where you look at somebody and say, like, bro, I get that you have a love for physical media, but you're not recognizing the time that we live in right now. You're not evolving with the rest of us. Like, you know, I could love physical all I want, but I still have to embrace the fact that everything is becoming digital or cloud based. You know what I mean? So continue.
That was the thing, is the fact that you had to listen to him, but he didn't have to listen to you, because you were trying to change his mind. And it's like, no, we're trying to make you understand.
Exactly.
You don't have to change your mind. This is a conversation. Because I literally tried to, you know, at that time, you know, I tried to jump in also to, because they were left bewildered when he just like F you and clicked out. And it was like, you can't have a show like that, you know, for an anniversary show. And I tried jumping in, but he had come back in before, you know, I was able to connect up. And I was like, you know what? I should probably stay out of this one. But I was trying to, you know, support the other guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's just, you know, this guy had tremendous respect in the community, and then since caused some rifling of the feathers here and there.
When did this happen? You don't have to tell me who it was, but when did it?
3 years ago or so.
Oh, I see. Okay.
3 years ago.
So it was a physical conversation, because 3 years ago seems about right for something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, again, doing a podcast, you know, you're celebrating, and yet you have conversations between different personalities, and one just bullish about his opinions.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to explain Game Pass and this and that, you know, the benefits to it versus, you know, physical. And you have that, you know. And now
go ahead. Sorry, continue.
I was gonna say, and now full circle, here we are with another creator that has been very drama centric when it comes to a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. We know, you know, it's all about the drama, and drama only gets you so much. So this is just the next phase for this person to have this drama. You know, oh, I'm gonna quit gaming. Oh, you're not gonna quit. You're not going to quit something that is a hobby to you, that's a money maker to you. You know, I mean, he's ranking and he's banking money. I mean, you don't think he's making that kind of money for how big he is and how well known he is? He's making money. It's not like he's not. And you're going to throw that away?
Yeah.
Again, that's very bullish of someone to think that they're that good to just walk away from money. I mean, it's different if you're being robbed in a contract like Dave Chappelle was.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
when you have
Yeah.
something like that, that's totally different. This ain't the same scenario. And, you know, it's just a cry for attention. That's all it is. He ain't quitting. Remember, not to get political, but we're gonna go there. Remember all those actors and musicians, and also, you know, they're gonna move to Canada if so and so wins.
Yeah.
Well, so and so won.
And where did
get to move to
they go?
Canada.
Nowhere.
Exactly. So it's all talk. You know,
And
and that's
yeah.
the worst part.
Yeah, people will always say, I mean, and I'm not saying like I haven't been guilty of it either, but when times feel at most extreme for someone personally, you'll say anything. You'll do anything to just fix it or make it stop, you know, without realizing like what it'll actually be, you know, 2 weeks down the road from now, and how you'll actually go about it versus how you feel in the moment about it right now. Because, you know, it could be scary right now for you for whatever reason, but then 2 weeks down the line, a month down the line, you kind of come down from it and realize like, well, now I don't really feel that way for X, Y, and Z. Or, you know, you just kind of like let it go and then just do something else. I don't know. For MBG, it's just kind of like even if you're just speaking in the moment, like I said, if he's being serious, not just fishing for, you know, views and clicks and stuff, but if he is being serious, like, this isn't even something that is that serious of a thing to where you should even have to feel that way to begin with. I don't know. I thought it was just the lamest thing ever in the world. And when I saw the clip, I was just like, really, bro? Come on.
You know, and here's the funny part, right? When you say you're going to do something, and it's usually your inner circle that you say something like, hey, I'm going to quit drinking soda. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to start working out more. I'm going to, I don't know, did I say it? Quit smoking. You know, stuff like that. You say it usually typically with your inner circle. You're not saying it out there to the world that if this happens, you know, so it's like, oh, well, you know, if e-cigarettes happen, I'm going to quit smoking altogether. That makes no sense. You see that correlation when it comes to that. Usually you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to tell my closest friends that, you know, I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to make a better choice. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to try to better myself in those certain ways. And then as you progress, then you start saying, hey, I already quit smoking. I haven't smoked in a year. I haven't drank alcohol in the same amount of time, because the two link up for me. If I smoke, I start drinking. If I drink, I start smoking. That's a typical correlation when it comes to those type of addictions. The same thing with sugar. You know, hey, I stopped drinking soda. I did that 2 years ago. You know, I stopped doing this. How long ago? You don't say, hey, if this happens, you know, if Dunkin' Donuts releases this type of donut cake, I'm gonna stop drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee and eating Dunkin' Donuts. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because whether or not it happens, one person, is not going to change that part of the industry. So him quitting is not going to make Microsoft stop. Granted, we're all speculating. That doesn't mean that they're going to do it, because Sony just has to get their head out of their ass, for the lack of better words, and figure out what they're doing and get back to being the leaders that they normally are, the bullish leaders that they are. That they're very headstrong on their ideas and their ideology, and typically it works for them. Right now, it's not working for them because there's so much confusion, and this is within the corporate ranks, the confusion, which trickles down to the lower levels and the fans. And so who's to say? We're just saying that they're going to be. That doesn't mean that they're going to be. I mean, look at Redfall. Redfall was not supposed to be a terrible mess, and it really wasn't. It just was overhyped, and then the displeasures of not getting the 60 FPS, not getting this, and then you had some glitches, and because of the negativity, that negativity got even more hype when you saw more things that did not sit well with a lot of people. And it's also part of the console war, right? So a lot of, we were laughing, right? I was playing with Retri from Game On Daily. No, not Game On Daily. Game Pass Daily. There you go.
Yes.
Correction. Game Pass Daily. And,
shout out to Retri. Much love to you, brother.
Yeah, shout out to him. Those two names are so similar.
Yeah.
So, and then you have Silent Cypher with us, and a few, and RSJ fan. So, we were all playing, and we all had a good time. We're all laughing at the glitches. You know what I mean? We had a death sequence glitch where we were inside, and we just kept on dying. We're inside one of the safe houses. We just kept on dying. I had it recorded and turned it into a short. I believe Retri did the same thing.
And those are good moments to have, with friends. I love that.
It wasn't game breaking. Yeah, it took you out of the moment, but as soon as we left that room and went into the real world, everything went back to normal. Yes, we had some other glitches. We complained about them, but we still had a good time.
Yeah.
You see, when you have something like that versus, the prediction, well, that wasn't a prediction. That was a failed attempt at future sites, and because they did not, and they learned their lesson, and they want to make sure Starfield come out, and I think that's probably like the least amount of bugs of any Bethesda game, at launch, if you think about it.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, like with Starfield, I never had one game-breaking bug, like ever. And if I've had games crash on me, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll just reload it, whatever. If I'm playing on PC, especially. But with Starfield, like, I think I crashed maybe a few times, but it never deterred me from not wanting to play the game. I just always, because I feel like it's such a demanding game, and for PC, I'm only running a 3060, and my cooling isn't exactly the best yet, because I haven't upgraded it yet in my PC, so I'm just assuming it's on my side of things, I'm trying to run at 1440p, max FPS, whatever I can, and I'm just kind of pushing everything to the max temp-wise, and that's why it gives out, so I just assume it's my fault. But when a game crashes so many times and it's almost breaking my system, that's not me, that's an optimization issue. And with a game like Starfield, like I freaking love that game, I need to go back so bad to it, as well as a few other games, especially Gotham Knights. But it's just crazy how, like, everyone was so sure that this was going to be a great game, but it was going to be a buggy freaking mess, and then it dropped, and it actually wasn't. Freaking insane. Yeah,
and sometimes, when you have a game that comes out that good, you have Hi-Fi Rush that was very well accepted, but unfortunately got taxed, the Xbox tax on it. You have stuff like that. You can kind of get a little cocky, and and that's why you release a game like Bethesda, like Redfall, because you were cocky enough that, gamers will still love this regardless of the features that we had originally set in place aren't going to be there.
Yeah.
But we have to hit this date, so it is what it is. The same thing with Starfield, they said that certain features weren't going to be there because they want to hit a certain target date. And I'm not talking about the 30 frames per second, because that was always supposed to be 30 frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to certain things, I mean, look at Forza Motorsport. There are certain features there that are not coming at all. Slash, some of them are coming later on. The drag racing. What was the other one? Drifting. I believe it was.
Drifting, drag, and fuck. Was it rally? No.
I don't remember, but I know those two were like the key features. There's so many more different items that they were going to bring in later on. And it's the same thing with Halo. The Master Chief Collection. Or I'm sorry, not Master Chief. Halo Infinite, where co-op wasn't there from the get-go. And I played it on Legendary, or I'm sorry, not Legendary, Heroic, so I can play it on Legendary with a friend, because there was no way I was going to be able to do that on Legendary by myself, the first get-go, and I just haven't been able to go back and play, and nobody else has wanted to do that. But am I saying because of this we're going to be number one? It's gonna take over as a market leader? No. They faltered so many times, and they still can falter. Now they have 23 studios, if my math is still correct. And that's a lot of studios to manage. That's a lot of people to manage. That's a lot of information to manage. So which obviously is why they have so many heads for each section. But still, there's so much to watch over that anything can slip through. And Redfall again is going to be that
prime example.
The example that slips through. It did, unfortunately, and they learned their lesson. But everybody does it too. You get to a point where you're good, and all of a sudden you get too cocky and you screw up, and it happens. So PlayStation said, "Hey, we make these type of quality games," and it's finally catching up to them. That they can't sustain it with just those games. A lot of gamers are buying multiple consoles. Okay, so I've got. Let's see. Okay, let's just go with the series, right? I've got two Series X consoles.
Nice.
I can only play on one of them at a time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that one game that I buy, I can play on either console or PC. It still counts as one. But if you look at sold, they sold me 2 Series X's.
Yeah.
So technically, the second one I won by racking up all those Microsoft reward points, and that's how I paid for it. The first one I paid $200 because I had racked up $300 and change worth of reward points, and I bought both of them through the Microsoft Store. So $200 for 2 consoles. You can't beat that. But again, that when you look at it, it still counts as a sale. But that's 2 consoles for me. How many times in the PlayStation 4 era have they released a new PlayStation exclusive limited edition version that people had purchased? You bought the PlayStation, you bought the PlayStation Slim, you bought the PlayStation Pro, you bought the PlayStation Spider-Man edition, you caught the Call of Duty, the God of War, and people were trading those in, or they were buying them multiple times. We know several people that had updated each console with the new revision. So yes, when you look at it, if you bought 8 consoles in the lifespan of the PlayStation 4, but you've done the trade-in each time, it still counts as a sale.
Yeah.
But they don't take off the other 7. If you only have one console, they don't take off the other 7 and going, well, those were returned. Those were put back into the used market. No.
Yeah,
they don't say that.
Yeah, no.
So those metrics are skewed, which is why, yet again, with PlayStation 5, you look at the Spider-Man numbers. considering how many consoles are out there, those Spider-Man sales are nowhere near that. So, who is that truly a market leader? Just because they have more consoles? I mean, did we forget about Nintendo Switch, which still outsold both of them?
How many
you know,
how many copies is Spider-Man at right now? 2.5 million?
the last I heard was like 2.3, but it could be about 2.5
something like that.
now.
So the crazy part is a game like Spider-Man should be hitting at least 5. And with how many consoles they have actually sold, quote unquote, it should be hitting 10.
Yeah, at least.
And it's not, you know, and like to be honest with you, I was waiting to hear about like early numbers and whatnot, or like not early numbers, but like after a week or a few days. And then when I heard the 2.3, 2.5, I was like, are you shitting me? For a Spider-Man game?
Yeah, it's very low considering the number of consoles out there. And here's the funny part, right? I have yet to buy it because I have yet to buy Spider-Man, the original ones, the original first two, right? I want to play them. I just haven't had time, and you know, with everything going on, and I got this project next week that I'm leaving to take care of.
Yeah.
So with that project, I'm not gonna have much time for gaming at all. Let alone doing my Microsoft reward points. You know what I mean? Trying to save up for the next Series XX Pro, whatever you want, if they ever do that, or Gen 11. You know what I mean? So when it comes to all that, I don't have time because I'm busy creating content for YouTube and such. So I'm busy working and hustling, which is really killing me. But you know, it's something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And doing this, it doesn't allow me to play the games. So I have to make that choice. Do I buy the game at full price and never play it? Like Alan Wake 2. I want to buy that game so bad right now, but I have to, you know, watch my money because the next few weeks, this project is going to be a money drain.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm like, this week I already have like 80 hours. I got the rest of today and tomorrow to work. You know, so after today I should be hitting 80 hours, and I got tomorrow night to work however long to make up the rest. So I'll be into the 90s for this week.
Yeah,
which is insane. That's why I said I'm playing a zombie in real life.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So
yeah.
When it comes to stuff like this, you know, I did not participate in those numbers, but I know other people like the game complainers. They bought multiple games. They bought the console edition. They bought the actual game on its own. So there's 2 copies right there. They also bought the, you know, because they have their own little mom and pop video game store, bought a few others to sell to their customers. So if you look at it, this guy bought 4 or 5 different variations of copies, right?
Yeah.
And he bought 2 personally for himself. So, you know, those numbers for some people are inflated. Some people are deflated because of people like me that just right now there's too much going on for a backlog. There's too much going on in life, and I've bought too many games, you know, up front, you know, pre-ordered, and haven't had a chance to play them. You know, Star Wars, the newest Star Wars game, I've yet to play, and I bought it. I haven't played it because I haven't had time. And then with all the bugs that they had, you know, it's like, how do you at least fall in order with like limited bugs, and then you release its sequel as a bug fest? You know,
well,
it makes
at least
no
when
sense.
you finally get into Jedi Survivor, it's fixed. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
You know, which is the good thing. But that's also the great thing about. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I could have waited and saved money
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is very, and you could have got it on sale, and whatnot, and CD keys even more on sale. But
Yes.
but I was gonna say that is the beauty of gaming. We have our backlogs keep filling up, right? Because games keep releasing, Game Pass keeps getting better. After the stream, I'm checking out Like a Dragon, the man who erased his name, because it just finally dropped in Game Pass. I saw Twitter and everything. So if you guys don't know, it's finally in Game Pass, so go check it out. I'm going to be doing that as well. But the beauty of it all is, if you're somebody who isn't super like swayed by FOMO, right? You play when you can, and when you can, you appreciate it because it's your time and nobody else's time. It's you and your content, your video games, your enjoyment, your personal space, right? So
Yep.
when you finally get to a game, it feels right and it feels good, So when you finally get to Jedi Survivor, I know, like, when you finally sit down in front of it, like, you'll take that breath and be like, okay, I'm finally here. And it won't be one of those feelings where it's like, damn, I wish I got to play this when everybody else did. It's like, no, I'm finally getting to play this, and it's on my time and it feels right. Like, I got my beer, or I got my water, I got my food, I got my whatever, I got my snicky snacks, my chicken nuggies, and I'm about to play an experience. And I didn't finish Fallen Order, but I did play a good amount of it, and that is a game I want to go back to. And I don't feel stricken by FOMO, of like, oh, it's a game I feel like I got to complete because I also want to play Jedi Survivor, but just rather like, when I know I finally find the time to get back to it, it's gonna feel good because it's my time. It's my gaming time. So, and like I said, at least for you, once you finally get to it, at least you won't have all those stupid bugs everybody else had to deal with and whatnot. That's how I felt when I restarted Cyberpunk. Like, I just stopped playing, was like, I'll let everybody else go through the patches. When they get to 2.0, then I'll play again, and I enjoyed it when it released. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is you have to make those choices yourself.
Exactly.
And those choices are not changing. They're not going to change the industry or the market one way or the other.
Yeah.
One person's actions or call to action is not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you make your own choices, and if you want, if let's call him dumbass, wants to call it out like that and say that, then fine, but hold your word to it. And we know he won't. And that's how it's shameful that he has no integrity, and yet the fact that people still follow him and watch him and give
Yeah.
him that support, because they are giving him money for basically lying to you, misleading you. I don't, and that's why there's a lot of the guys out there that are so popular, they believe their own hype, right? So they
Yes.
think that they're out there to be your savior, and I don't need a false prophet. You're not the narcissist that's gonna save me from enjoying something that I enjoy. I've brought up
Exactly.
the Amico before, and people have downed the Amico, and it's like, you know what? I played it. I enjoyed what it was, and if it comes out, great. If it doesn't, it is what it is. But I don't need you to tell me that Tommy Tellerico is not my friend. Well, actually, he is. So when we do talk, it's yeah, we're not like best friends, but at the same time, we've seen guys that were like best friends with him and have turned their back on him. And it's like, how do you, that just shows the person that you are. It's like, how do you befriend somebody and then turn around and become a hater because everybody else is hating on you for liking something and being friends with somebody? You see,
Yeah.
when you see that, it's like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But it's out there. I mean, Mike Mullis just streamed it with his kids, and people tore it apart. Because his kid wasn't holding the controller right, and actually, he was tapping as if it was a D-pad, and in this controller, you can actually slide your thumb from one side to the other. So he was actually inputting his own lag, and they're like, see, he's gaslighting his own kid, and these guys are anything drama because they're narcissists that they are your saviors, and I don't buy that. I don't like that, and that's why I like how we have discussions, we have difference of opinions,
open forums.
We can actually have the same opinions. Yeah, we can have the same opinions, but a different viewpoint. You know what I mean? And that's why these discussions and having, like you said, open forums are good. But when you're like, this sucks, and you don't say why it sucks.
Thank you.
Save your money.
God. Thank you. Oh, that is one of my biggest pet peeves in life. There are people who, okay, I don't give a shit about telling people this. It's my backstory. I was bullied growing up, all through school, right? But the one thing that always made me laugh about bullies is they'd be like, oh, you're a bitch. You're gay, right? Like, back in the day when, that was the thing to say to somebody before it became politically wrong or socially wrong to use that as a phrase, period, in that way. But back then, that's what it was, in the 90s and 2000s, right? So, but whenever they would say that, I stood up for myself and looked them dead in the face and be like, why? What makes me a bitch? And because you are. Okay, but that's not a reason. So why am I a bitch? Because we said so. So because you said so, I'm just automatically that, with no reasoning whatsoever, But of course you can't reason with people like that, especially in moments like that. But I always ask that question because it's like, if I'm such a bitch, then what is it that exactly that makes me that? And then there's nothing that's said, and it's just or it's just some dumb shit with no rationale, and it's like, where are you coming from? I don't know.
Which is why I still say, if you have a difference of opinion, be critical about it. If you don't like a game, be critical about it, be respectful to the devs, and be critical, because that's how they're going to listen to you. Because if you're like, oh, this game sucks, well, they don't know what to fix. They don't know what to do, and your comment gets trashed.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're like, hey, the web slinging in Spider-Man is kind of glitchy, and it's weird, but here's a spot, here's a video, here's a clip. Okay, yeah. I know some of these things are when it comes to Twitter and other social media, they get fabricated some. But when you're just playing the game and all of a sudden you run into something like, hey, what was this? This was very
You're pretty
odd.
much being a game tester, and you're asking for other people what their opinion is on it, and you shouldn't be ridiculed for that.
Exactly. But I mean, I have seen people do the same thing where they go doing comparative, and this is on both sides of the court, right? So it's not picking one or the other. Both sides of the court, the extremists will sit there and they'll drop the video down to 144p or 240p, and then zoom in, take a snapshot, and then they'll go to the other console, 4K, zoom in and take a snapshot, and then you do your comparison. And it's like, well, yeah, because you manipulated the pictures.
Yeah.
The pictures are true of what you're showing, but you're not being truthful of how you got those pictures.
And it's not even that, and it's not even that hard to at least for me to just say, if I was gonna post something like that, it'd be like, okay, it's if for some reason it's bad image quality, because if I post it and I look at my own post to make sure it came out right, because if I'm gonna post content and I want people to see it and appreciate it, I'm gonna double check my post to make sure it makes sense, or if I'm posting media, that it came out right. Because not every time you upload something to Instagram or X or whatever always comes out perfect, you know, like sometimes you know, you get a skip in your service and then the video posts, and then when you're watching it, it looks all like blurry and shit because it just didn't upload right. So it is what it is. So, you know, like if I go back towards a post and I'm seeing it myself and I'm like, okay, I know I uploaded a 4K image, but it's looking like a 1080p image, then I'll leave an extra note down below, be like, by the way, if this image looks a little weird, let me know, you know. But other people don't do that because they're like, this is what it is and this is what I want you to see and this is what I'm saying, you know. But it's like, but if you're gonna be so bold to say it, make it make sense. That's always been my thing, is like, whatever you've got to say, even if I disagree with it. Because, and I was going to say earlier, like, because you hit the nail on the head, you know, when you get in an argument or a disagreement with somebody and you don't agree with what their point of view is, but you can tell them, I understand what you're saying, though. I get where you're coming from. That leads the conversation into a more positive direction, as opposed to you just fighting the idea because you just disagree. Like, it's okay to disagree, but do you at least understand what I'm trying to tell you? Even if you disagree with it, like, do you get what I'm saying? Do you get where I'm coming from? Because I get where you're coming from. You know, let me get to the chat just so we can catch up. G maybe says it's getting awkward calling Sony the market leader when Microsoft has clearly started to redefine what the market is. Facts. Let's see. Talos Ray says, I bought 2 Series X's, one for me and one for my son. Plus I have both Gears limited edition consoles, plus the 360 Gears, PS5 God of War, PS4 Pro, and Star Wars PS4. I had PS4 Pro, Spider-Man 2. I sold that. God damn. Damn, that Star Wars edition though. Can you post a picture of that on the X? G maybe says a hardware focus seems to be a chosen narrative for success by Sony, or at least they're diehard fans. Good grief. The reality is not profitable. Shin Shady, harder than a set of twin babies. Let's see. Gotham Knights is a good game. Gameplay is fun. Agreed. Doing pretty good today. Just got back. I'm not good at working out. Talos said, I'm not good at working out puzzles. Shintaro kills me for, like, I like no-brainer games. Because I believe before Talos Ray had mentioned that it was the first puzzle that got him on Gotham Knights. Kind of got me a little bit too, and then I figured it out. AKA I just started like selecting things and like making them connect to each other and like, oh, it worked. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So I kind of hate puzzle games, but there's just something about Gotham Knights where I'm like, it's just the story and everything. It feels really good. Shooter games are awesome, so many to choose from, says Shintaro. Vic, the mother effing click, is in the house. Good to see you, brother. Happy to have you here as always. Talos Ray says, and MBG podcast goes up to 5 hours of talking out of his ass and people listen to his garbage. I know. And then you have podcasts like mine that are doing well in their own right, but struggle. And then you have bullshit podcasts like his that exists. And then it just makes me wonder, like, what am I doing with my content? But I don't want to be like that, you know? Like, that's why, like, I didn't even put ponies in the title, because I don't want to be super salty about it. That's why I just said PlayStation Fanboys, you know? Let's see. G maybe says, Tommy Tellerico, wow, I haven't heard that name in forever. A lot of people haven't. It's a good shooter like Gears of War. Catching up. Talos Ray says, I got picked on because I was a chubby kid. I just started throwing punches and they were running like little bitches. That's what's up, Talos. I was fat in the 6th grade. For those of you that don't know, I do come from a family that was kind of like struggled with weight, I should say, in the most respectful way. But I love my family. But I look like my grandfather, so I'm very like lanky and slim like him. But in the 6th grade, I was very fat. And then I just like grew in height, but I stayed the same weight. So everything just kind of like evened out. It was really interesting. But man, 6th grade was not a good year. It's just a dusty filter. I see what you did there, G. Maybe shout out to you, sir. Talo, Shintaro's. Unfortunately, for most people, opinions are like a-holes, and nobody realizes that theirs probably stinks too. Facts. Sorry, lost touch with their. Sony lost touch with their market. Sony has lost touch. Sony has not only lost touch with their market, they've lost touch with the generation. They've lost touch with how we've evolved. You know what I mean? They've not only lost touch with their market, they've lost touch with the entire like industry as well as the consumer community of it all. Unfortunately,
they seem to have.
Go ahead.
I was going to say they seem to have taken a page out of Apple, where we know what's good for you. You know, because there are certain times, you know, and Xbox and Microsoft have done the same thing, where they have dictated something, and they, you know, a lot of times for Xbox and Microsoft, they've preceded the market so far in advance that they weren't ready for it. Where usually Apple, when they put it out, and you know, it is what it is, and there's no fighting it really, because it you know, the lightning port, you know, here's your iPhone, here's what it is.
Yep.
We've taken out the headset jack. You know, you just have to deal with Bluetooth, and when you look at it like that, you're like, wow, you know, yeah, they've always said this is the where it's going, and this is how it's going to be, and people have just accepted it. Microsoft and Xbox have done it so far in advance, you know, and backlash, you know what I mean? And now we use all these products in our houses that we're doing the exact same thing, if not more than those products. And I'm thinking Kinect, for those of you who are, you know, kind of leaning that way too. You know, when they forced the Kinect on the Xbox One, people didn't like that, you know, but they saw where the Kinect was on the 360, and they said, we got to have this on here too. And unfortunately, with the mandate, a lot of people had backlash on it. I know friends that did not like the Kinect on the 360, did not want it on the One. You know, so, you know, and obviously I loved it on the 360, and I loved it on the One, and I would love a 3.0 on the series. You know, bring those other games forward also. I would love those. You know,
there's a lot of legacy things I wish they would bring back. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and they, you know, just like everybody, they have to figure out what's good for their market, you know, and obviously the 360 market with the Kinect was awesome. The Xbox One market with the Kinect didn't do so hot, and you can see what happened. They got rid of TV, and they got rid of the Kinect, and they slimmed it down to, okay, you want a game console, here's your game console. It's not going to be an all-in-one living room, because I mean, think about it. The original Xbox was supposed to be a PC in your living room. They were thinking that they were going to have you doing Excel files in your living room.
Yeah.
You know, and Xbox said, no. We're going to strip down all the Windows and keep it as an Xbox console, as a game box, nothing else. You know,
you know, I was thinking about it. Sorry to cut you off, but it would be cool if they added a Samsung Dex like feature to the console. So, because some people, it used to be a narrative, right, where there was a subsect of people that wanted Microsoft and Xbox to add a more desktop like, you know, experience for the consoles. But I never really heard anybody say, well, what about if you just added a DeX-like feature to the console? So you have your console layout, right? What it is right now. But then you can select desktop mode, like how we have for like everything else now. And it can turn what you have into a desktop-like experience for console, for those that need that. And then you plug in a keyboard and mouse. It's more optimized for something like that, you know. Random thought, but I just kind of wondered, like, why not just go that route? You know what I mean? Because realistically, console is supposed to be console, and PC is PC. That's why they're not like the same thing. Yes, a console still is essentially a PC because it's a personal computing system, but at the end of the day, it has its layout and its structure for a reason, you know, to make everything just more plug and play and more user friendly, as opposed to, and a PC is not hard to set up, but a lot of people like to psych themselves out about that when it comes to using PC. So why not add a desktop functionality feature to the UI, you know, for Xbox? That way you're not fully messing with the OS of the console experience, but for those that want to treat their console more like a home computing system, they can do that. But it's still all of the applications, it's like Google Chrome, you know, like a Chromebook. It still operates app based and whatnot, as opposed to being straight desktop based. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Random idea.
When it comes, I mean, I understand your point, but when it comes to the operating software, it's not the same thing.
Exactly.
You know, like the DeX. The DeX is literally the same operating software. It's just a different UI.
Exactly.
Which makes it look like a PC.
And that's what I'm saying.
You know, Xbox originally wanted, that was Bill Gates' thing. He wanted that, but the way it's designed, they stripped away a lot of
things.
A window, yeah.
So even to just make it at like a simple, like it's still Xbox, you know, it's not a PC, but it's it turns it in to look like a desktop. Even to just do that, they would have to add a lot of features and functionality that they did take out, even just to do that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they would, and that would take up a lot of space.
Exactly. Yeah. But it would be dope to see, though. Not gonna lie to you, it would be pretty dope to see.
I agree with you. I just wouldn't be doing Excel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell no. Like if I was doing like simple things, you know, like using Explorer, you know, YouTube, note taking, using OneDrive, Microsoft Word, you know, just simple task stuff like that, it would be cool and fun, you know. Even like a video editor for like your game clips and all of that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like how the Steam Deck does it, pretty much like that, you know, in a sense. Talos Ray says Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is for us poor people. Hey yo, let's get it. Agreed. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is super expensive for games that come to PS subscription that you get one game per month. Dude, yeah, that Talos, who was it? Was it Talos? Said, "Oh, I'm not paying $169 a year for PS subscription." Hell nah, bruh. And the reason why it's $169 is because they're fucking you both ways. Do you get it? All right, cool. Thank you. G maybe says, yeah, $170 a year for old games is just encouraging Sony to charge even more should they choose to go day and date. G maybe says, one game per month. Is that how it works, Shin? Honestly, it's a horrible service, G maybe. Talos Ray says, I'd rather go to secondhand stores and spend it on old games, especially the rare ones too. True. That is true. Especially if, as I was saying earlier, because gaming is personal to you, to each and everyone. You know, if as long as you're getting your enjoyment and your gaming kick, you know, then there's nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. Talos said, or Shintaru, I don't know, because I don't have a PS5, but someone said you get one. Oh, Shintaru, if you have a PC, I would encourage you, just for testing purposes, to check out PlayStation Plus, the PC app, which was formerly called PS Now. That would be your cloud gaming experience on PC, because that is the only other place that you can do PlayStation cloud gaming if you don't have a console. So PlayStation Plus PC app. If you have the subscription service or not, try it out for 1 month, you know, just for testing purposes. And there's a lot of games. The library is vast, don't get me wrong, but you'll quickly find out that the UI is shit. The functionality for like graphics and gameplay is actually pretty great, because especially if you have a gaming PC, it can utilize your graphics card for better like performance with resolution and whatnot. So that's cool. But outside of that, then you start to realize, well, the PS5 games that are coming to cloud are not coming to the PC app. They're going to console. Why? That makes no effing sense. Except for the fact that Sony wants you to buy a stupid ass PS5. That's why. So.
You ever heard of...
Go ahead.
Are you still reading?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Dockers and like Proxmox and all that stuff when it comes to like NAS storage?
Say that again?
Have you ever heard of Dockers or NAS, network
Yes, I have.
storage?
Yes,
okay.
I have.
So think of it like that. Maybe, Xbox could do something like that with the apps, because that's what they're doing now with Windows. Is they're trying to sit there and allow the apps to load on top of Windows within its own kind of like a virtual desktop. So, and we're because it just dawned on me. I'm like, we're watching YouTube with an app. We're watching, we're the games we're playing is their own thing, but you have rewards, you have all the different streaming services. They're all apps. So, and they're doing that on Windows anyway. So, if they really wanted to, I guess they could formulate some sort of Excel or PowerPoint or anything like that in an app on there, so they wouldn't have to do a Dex version of it, but they would bring in more stuff. It would just be in the app.
Exactly.
With it. So if they wanted to, I'm sure, again, there'll be limitations that way, but doing it as an app / Docker service, the possibilities could be there.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything is definitely possible, and whatnot. You are so much welcome. Wow, you are so welcome, Shin. That's how you know Sony's getting desperate, charging $169 a year for PlayStation subscription. Dude, they get desperate. They are desperate by everything they do when it comes to pricing. This is why I said before, the PlayStation Q or portable is not a $200 device, because you're going to want to use a headset at some point, in which you're going to find out the only headset that works you have to purchase, because whatever headset you already own through PlayStation will not work. You have to buy what is made for the portable, to which it makes it a $400 device. So the portable's $400. It's not $200. It's so stupid, beyond me. Like,
and you still have to have Wi-Fi access.
Yeah, which that part is fine.
It's understandable.
But has anybody broken the myth that you have to be at home for that though? Like, can it work? Right, yes, you have to be at home, right?
I've researched it. Yeah, I researched it, and as Sony has stated, you can be, as long as you have access to the to a network, it will work. It does not say you have to be in your home network.
Okay.
So and that's where I'm gonna hold off and say, until it's in our hands and we can test it, don't believe.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying don't believe the hype, don't believe the marketing. Like, that's why I'm saying, has anybody actually proven, like, tested that theory? Because as far as I know, until proven otherwise, the PlayStation Portable does not work outside of your home network. If you try to take it on the road, it like you can boot it up but it'll be unplayable as fuck. And it's only made to be on the same same network as your PlayStation 5, which if that is true, this is if that ends up sticking to the fact of what I know right now, that is a pointless fucking device. Because I should be able to kickstart my PS5, go to Starbucks down the street and grab a coffee, but have my portable with me, and as long as I have stable internet, I should be able to essentially console stream.
And that is what the documentation says on Sony's website.
Yeah. That's what it says.
But, like you said, you know, until we actually see it in operation, we actually see it functioning that way, I don't believe them. You know, and what do I always say? What's one of my key phrases for Sony? Deceptive practices.
Yep.
We'll find out if we're getting that free hat for Indiana Jones, but yet, you know, only here.
Yeah.
But yet, you know, it's just a hat. No, it's not Indiana Jones. It's actually Red Dead Redemption 2. You get a free hat. Only exclusively here.
Yeah. It's just like okay, I'll say it this way. When the portable first got announced and leaked and all of the specs and stuff, it was reported that this device would not work outside of your home network. And that's when I just lost my mind, because I was like, that's so fucking stupid. Especially when you have other platforms that make that capability so much better, and you don't need a PlayStation Portable to console stream outside of your home. So that's even an even more stupid thing. Now if they had said, or if it had been made known, especially when this news came out, that you can play this thing away from home as long as your connection is great, you know, but it is Wi-Fi only. But if you have great connection, you're good to go, you know. It has a USB-C charger port, so you could plug in a hub, and then you could connect Ethernet to that hub, and then you're really good to go. Then I would actually look past the headphone situation and be like, this is a cool device. A little weird designed, just like the PS5 itself, but this is cool. But when you take that aspect out of it, and then you also take out the aspect of Bluetooth for headsets, and then you have to have these other headsets you need to buy for the same exact fucking price, that's where you just completely lost me with the portable. That's just, I can't with that. Sorry. No. I have to be at home with this. And then on top of that, I have to do all of this extra shit. No. If I could take this anywhere, I could get past the headphones part, but no, sorry.
Let's play some memory here, right? Let's play memory.
Memory.
Now, yeah.
Memory.
So now, when you have this the PlayStation Portable, and it's connecting. Let's say it's gonna work this way. I go to your house, and I'm connecting to my PlayStation and playing my game from there, right? From your house through my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
My PlayStation at my house. I am doing that. Play some memory. Where did we see something like that before? But it wasn't. Think about it. It wasn't a dedicated device. It was your phone. Xbox with the Xbox One allowed you to stream from your console to your phone. And you notice how they've moved away from it and now made it more into cloud gaming.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Who's following the leader now?
Exactly. And especially when PlayStation had mentioned months ago, oh, now we're gonna pursue cloud more and blah blah, we do whatever. Of course you are. The What? We
12
were
gas games.
waiting for you to wake up. Like, what the hell? Like, of course you're pursuing cloud now. Duh. Like, everybody else has and has been.
Mhm.
Like, the fuck? You know, GeForce Now has been in the game. Like, you guys had a cloud service and then acted like it wasn't a cloud service and did nothing with it, called PS Now, and then turned it into PS Plus for PC. Like, the fuck? You know, and did nothing with the UI. Didn't clean it up, didn't change it up, didn't give it a more PS5 console UI type of like experience, at least something, you know. At least when you go in your web browser and open up XCloud, at least it feels like a console like experience because of the way they have it laid out for you. You know, but you open up the PS Plus PC app and it's just like, here's a bunch of rows of games, and just hold your mouse over here and just watch them scroll by, and then you can just add them to your My Library section, and then scroll down 10 more rows to see our different variations of whatever, but nothing. There's no actual fucking UI. It's so ugly and stupid. It's like, are you guys actually working on this? Because if you actually were, you would have updated the PC app and marketed it along with your console like features that you've been doing. But you're not. So how do you care about cloud? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of like the missed marketing with Gran Turismo.
Yes.
You know, they could have had so much of a tie-in between that, you know, exclusive cars. You know, you go to the theater with your ticket, you can redeem it to get, you know, an exclusive helmet or something. You know what I mean? Something to bring that part of the movie into your game. They could have had, you know, create a character story mode that kind of followed or mimicked the movie. You know, different, you know, events that followed the races that, you know, that led to the championship for the movie. You know, so there were so many missed opportunities. The same thing with the cloud gaming. What was it, Gamatsu or whatever that was called? Whatever the PS Now service was back in the day when they bought it.
Oh,
they were first there.
Yeah. God. Right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I do. Yeah.
So when they were first there, they didn't do anything with it. They just sat on it. So it's funny how they bought it during Sean Layden's time, and then after he was gone, they never got around to doing anything with it. And now, towards the end of Jim Ryan's term, they're like trying to do this, and you know, here they are jacking up the prices. They're following suit when they were first to it, and it seems like they didn't know what they wanted to do with it, and they just like, well, we'll just let it sit over there for now. And now that Xbox is doing the same thing, they're like, all right, we got to do this. You know, this isn't working. We got to jack up the price. And so the reason why Game Pass is doing so well is because of the price point. You know, and unfortunately, they had to jack up the price a little bit. A little. You know, $2, not $40.
Bruh, they could announce next month that they have to jack it up again to $19.99, but they will stay there for the foreseeable 10 years, and I'll be so fucking happy. I don't even care. Because to me, I pay for GeForce Now Ultimate, and that shit's $20 a month. And that shit is every bit of worth the penny that I pay for it, because I get a great experience out of it. Game Pass, especially now that it's on GeForce Now, is so worth the service. Even if it wasn't on GeForce Now, has already been worth the service. But all the games that they are adding, whether it be first party or third party, but now that they have ABK, all the games that they're going to be adding over the next 5 to 10 years, you could raise that bitch to $19.99, and I will gladly pay. Because it's worth it.
I would be happy to pay.
Hell yeah.
I was able to bring out 4 other family members.
Why so serious in the chat? Yeah. Xbox family, where is it at?
We were expecting that a while ago. I mean, we could always say we're expecting it for this Game Awards. You know,
That is true.
there's still that possibility.
That is true. That
Um,
is true. I'm hoping that would be so. Oh my god, like, because I don't. I have my wife's account on my Xbox, but and I thought that if you do that, you can add like one family member to like be on Game Pass with you, but I don't know how to do that, and so I guess that's not a thing anymore.
so no, you could do that. What you have to do is you make your one Xbox your home Xbox.
Yes.
Okay, your home Xbox has access to all those games. So you put your wife's account on that Xbox, so she
Okay.
has access to those games. You still have to go on there and download games from Game Pass. She wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to do it. She wouldn't have access to it. But if the games are already downloaded, she would have access to it. Now on the other side,
Oh.
some of the stuff online will work, and some of the stuff will not work. Sometimes you have to be logged in. Even though you're logged in, you're not playing the game. You're logged in as both you and her. So as long as you're logged in, she may be able to have access to the online portion of it. Okay. Typically,
Oh. So so
not
I should
really
have the game downloaded local to the system, and then when
correct.
she logs into her account, because it's downloaded to the system locally, it should show up for her.
Attached, it's attached to your home Xbox. So
Got you.
that
Okay.
system says, "Hey, anybody playing this game has authorization." Okay, and then you would log into the other Xbox. Do not make that your home Xbox. It's just every time you power it on, you log in there, and
Got
then you
you.
have access to play anywhere you want. So you could have three Xboxes. The other two Xboxes are not your home because you can only have one home. But
Yeah.
either any of those three you log into, you can play those said games because you have
Yeah. Yeah.
access to those games because of your account being logged in. Your home Xbox has access to those games because it is your home Xbox. Those games are registered to that Xbox no matter who's logged in. Again, there are certain stipulations, like my daughter will still play as myself for certain games, where other times she is able to just play normally, or she has me logged in and plays as herself normally
Yeah.
to access these games. So it just
Yeah.
depends on the situation and how it's set up.
Got you.
Um, and again, because I have like 1,000 games, I don't I don't recall which ones she has to log in, log myself in for her to play because it could be one of the ones I own or it could be a Game Pass. I don't remember. But I do know that some of the games that she wants to play, she actually has to play as myself, and some of the other ones she can play as herself without logging me in.
Yeah.
And as long, if you put it this way, on any Xbox, you can log in and watch YouTube or Netflix or Peacock or whatever, and then you can also log in to another Xbox at the same time and play games. You can be logged into multiple Xboxes, one to play games, and the other one can do anything but games.
Mm.
As soon as you
Mm.
as soon as you're in a game on one and you try to game on the other, it'll kick you out of the first one. You can only game on one at a time.
I will
So
then now look into this. That is good to know because I couldn't figure it out, and I didn't. I mean, but that's such an obvious thing. But at the same time, like it should be more simple than that. Like, it. It's kind of like how Google does it with YouTube Premium and whatnot. If I pay for YouTube Premium Family and then I have like, everyone's email added to my Google Family, then they automatically get YouTube Premium once they're added to that, right? So if like for Xbox Family on the website or whatever, if I add, my wife's account to that because I can only add one for now, and then I log into Xbox and I have Game Pass Ultimate, and then she logs in to the same Xbox, and it's the home Xbox, and Game Pass Ultimate should show up for her, and she should be able to download games herself. It should be that simple. but it's not.
It
And
should be, but it's not.
yeah, it's
Because even though it's
confusing.
family, you're paying for one account. You're not paying for
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
Okay, so even though you're logging in as family, because I have my daughter, my wife, and my brother as family,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
have
but I
all
mean is
three,
but what I mean
or
is
I'm
like
sorry,
on
all four of our accounts.
but what I mean is on console, you're supposed to get at least one additional account that can access your Game Pass account.
No, no. My wife can access my Game Pass account, and my daughter can access my Game Pass account
Oh
because
shit.
it's the home Xbox. The home Xbox has access to that. My
Wait, but didn't
account
you
is also
say
on.
but didn't you say you had to be under your account to download the games and then it'll show up for them?
Yes, yes.
See, that shouldn't have to be a thing. They should be able to just log in and download the games
But they
themselves.
don't. But they don't have access because they're not paid members.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. For Game Pass on console, you're supposed to get up to one family member that can access Game Pass with you on console. And so that's why I'm saying is that not a thing anymore? Because
I'll have to look into it because I know when my daughter was trying. You see, and that's the other thing. I don't. Again, she gets on it when I'm not there, and a lot of times she has to log me in. So maybe maybe I have to be logged in, and then she can go in under her. But I know there's been times I just went in under her and try to get the Game Pass, and it says to be a subscriber, da 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 da. You get your free, whatever, free month or free week trial, and I always back out. I have to try it. Now, I see what G maybe says. I know it works between Xbox Series X and One X. All right. Well, yeah, it works across the One through the Series. It doesn't matter which one console or which Series console, but it works across all 5 consoles. Now, the other thing is, what a lot of people, when they call it game sharing, like I'll make your Xbox my home Xbox. You'll make my Xbox your home Xbox, right?
yeah.
So now we both have access to those games. So when you say download this game, it downloads it to my Xbox because that's your home Xbox that has access to those games. Same thing with mine. When I buy a game, it'll download to your Xbox because that's my home Xbox. And then that way, when I log in on my Xbox, even though it's your home, I have access to those games because it is registered to my name. You have access to those games because it's registered to my home Xbox, which is your privately owned Xbox, but considered my home. So that's how the game sharing works.
Real
but again,
quick,
when it comes to Game Pass, it's a little change up.
real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Why So Serious in the chat for sending a $15 venti. Thank you so much for buying me a coffee, brother. Shout out to you. Much love. Yes, super chats and memberships are down, so please read the pinned comment at the top. But thank you once again. Continue, Mr. Dreadpool, you were saying.
No, that's like I said. When it comes to owning games, that's how it works. When it comes to the Game Pass portion, it's always it works similar, but I've had instances where I have to be logged in versus where I don't have to be logged in.
Yeah.
So again, I'd have to test it out and see. I'm also in the skip ahead program, so sometimes I have access to certain things or certain things are removed. So sometimes I'm testing stuff out before you guys actually see it. So both my Xbox One and my first Series X are in the skip ahead program. My second Series X is normal. So
I think I'm
again,
in the
I don't.
alpha. I think I'm in the beta program right now. Like I have every program available except for skip ahead or alpha skip ahead. But I have alpha, beta, and was it gamma or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have those. So I love the Insider program. I think it's a really good program.
Yeah, I like it. I just haven't been on doing the quizzes and stuff like that like I used to. Um, Again, I need to get back into doing that, religiously like I used to. But it's fun, and for a while there, I had times that my console was freaking pretty much bricked because of, being in the skip ahead. And it is what it is. That's the choice I made. There's
Yeah.
sometimes certain features would work and certain other features would not.
Well, I mean, it's like for me,
So,
like with my Apple products, I like to be in the public beta program. You know, sometimes the developer beta. Like my MacBook Air is, I just leave it in the public beta and then just update from there. Just because I enjoy testing things, but I also accept the fact that like if something doesn't work, that is on me, you know. And if it annoys me enough, well, just go back to regular instead of, trying to be extra crispy about it. And whatnot. I'm still psyched about this $15 venti that Why So Serious bought for the channel. Thank you so much, brother. Honestly, thank you. Let's transition actually into the next topic, which I don't know how much longer you can stay, but I wanted to play a video pertaining to a specific subject known as Miles Morales is and has always been, since his inception, Spider-Man. So what I wanted to do to transition is play a video by Oh No It's Alex. And his video pretty much covers the fact that it was announced the other day by Insomniac that Miles Morales, in fact, is taking over as the main Spider-Man in the Insomniac Spider-Man universe. Which, no shit, for a fan like me, if you know anything about the comics, you kind of expected this to happen at some point, but there's been a lot of internet backlash, if you will, Dreadpool, with people claiming that Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. He's Miles Morales, which is so freaking stupid. First of all, the only reason why we say Miles Morales is so you know the distinction between who we're talking about when it comes to the Spider-Men, okay? Like, if I'm talking about Spider-Man Noir, I'm going to say Spider-Man Noir, right? But if we're all together looking at the same piece of content and in front of us is Spider-Man Noir, I'm just going to say Spider-Man to you. I'm not going to say Spider-Man Noir because that's who we're already focused on, right? At least that's how I see it. So with that being said, that was a little bit of a tangent, but with that being said, Spider-Man Miles Morales has always been Spider-Man. Like, in the comics, it was never Spider-Man Miles Morales. It was Spider-Man. But this is who he is under the mask, and his name is Miles. And this is his backstory, right? But you have people online trying to make it out to be something more than what it actually is. And then they just make themselves look really freaking stupid. And people are trying to claim like, oh, they're blackwashing the character, or he was never Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man Miles Morales. He's Miles Morales. And it's like, no, he's Spider-Man. In the universe he comes from, he is Spider-Man. Like, if anybody had read the comics, when Gordon had to become Batman, he wasn't Batman Jim Gordon. He was Batman because he became Batman. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Even for Batman Beyond. It was called Batman Beyond, but you never called him Batman Beyond in the show. You called him Batman. So, with all of that being said, let's get into this video. It's a great watch, at least in my opinion. I'm a big fan of Oh No, It's Alex. I think he's hilarious. I do enjoy his PC review videos when he puts them out, because he actually takes those very seriously, and he wants other PC gamers to be well informed of PC ports when they release and the type of state that they release in. And then when it comes to the salt, oh, he doesn't hold back at all whatsoever. However, I would say this video is a little more tamed for somebody like Oh No, It's Alex when it comes to salt, if you will. But nonetheless, it's a great watch, very well-informed video. I encourage C Money to check it out, so I hope that he did. So let's get into it, and then we will continue with the rest of the show. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen.
So Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 has reached pretty good acclaim in its actual reviews. People are enjoying it. It's selling quite well, but there have been some criticisms about the story specifically, and also certain characters in that game. Now, recently, Insomniac has stated that pretty much Miles Morales is going to be carrying the mantle of Spider-Man into the upcoming sequel for Spider-Man 3, more than likely, and of course that has ruffled a few feathers on the old Twitter/X platform. Now, here's what I want to do today. I want to be very apparent with what my perspective is on this entire thing, and really shed some light into the history of the Ultimate Spider-Man, who is Miles Morales. But first, I need to make things very clear, because I know some of you will already put your blinders on and cover your ears and scream woke.
Woke?
Do I believe that Spider-Man 2 has a quote-unquote agenda to be pushed? Yes, I in fact do believe that. Now, do I also believe that characters like Mary Jane were completely shoehorned into the sequel of Spider-Man 2 to make her feel overpowered and the developers did not care? Absolutely, 100% unequivocally, I believe that. Do I believe that there are specific companies out there in the gaming space that are providing specific amounts of influence to then sway writers in this space and in this industry to then write stories in a very specific way, all in the meantime while basically having other content creators' videos completely demonetized and then privating their own Twitter accounts? Yes, I absolutely believe that. However, though, with all of that being said, before any of this even goes any further, I want to make this very clear. Today, I'm going to unequivocally prove that Miles Morales is in fact Spider-Man, and trying to argue this as any sort of like woke agenda or woke ideology is the dumbest thing you actually can do, because there's so many other things you can argue with that game besides Miles itself. In fact, we've had this argument, like I said before, back in 2011. You see, back in the year 2000, things were a-changing. They were absolutely a-changing. Now, what was going on is you had a singular universe in the Marvel Comics storylines. That would be called Earth 616. Now, that universe is very specific because it has all of the history that Marvel has created throughout all those decades. But in the year 2000, something new happened. A new universe was created, and that was Earth 1610, the Ultimate Universe. This is where
Yep. So you're about to see what Alex is going to get into, okay? And what he just explained right now, the Ultimate Universe, is where Miles comes from. Like, read, please, if you haven't, read the comic line of Ultimate Spider-Man, of how Miles comes to be. Please read it. It is so good. Oh god. Continue, Alex.
A lot of the actual storylines and even Miles's actual beginnings happened in this universe, and we're going to talk about that too. You see, here Marvel writers could do basically whatever they wanted. They had a clean slate to write any character in any way and not have to worry about decades of canonical actual history between those characters. They can make all new stories, all new types of characters, all new confrontations, everything, and the oyster was their playground. And they did a pretty good job, from my personal opinion, back in those days, being a young man and reading those books. But you see, something happened, and one of those things was the creation of the Ultimate Spider-Man, and Peter Parker was that Spider-Man. But like always, tragedy can sometimes strike. In every good comic book, tragedy strikes, but in that moment of tragedy, there should always be a spark of hope.
Give me 1 second.
Unfortunately for Peter, though, in issue 160 of the Ultimate Spider-Man, things didn't go that way. In his fight with Green Goblin and Norman Osborn, Peter unfortunately was not able to make it and was no longer with us in the Ultimate Universe. Now, a short time later, a series of books called The Ultimate Fallout was later written. And in fact, in this series of books is where things get a little bit crazy. As everyone's trying to deal with the actual loss of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, something happens. You see, in issue 4 of The Ultimate Fallout, there is a bar fight happening. In fact, the Kangaroo is laying into a patron of that bar. Yes, that is a real villain. I promise you, they're real. And at that time, things looked very bleak for that individual until Spider-Man appears.
California.
Now, this is really strange because Spider-Man has been gone. He's not with us anymore. Who's this guy dressed as Spider-Man pretending to be Spider-Man? In fact, the Kangaroo even calls it out. He says, "Spider-Man, I thought you were dead." And even the patron, who literally cannot see out of one eye, says, "Hey man, this is in really bad taste." So you see, even though Spider-Man is there to help save the day, people are still very concerned as to, what are you doing? This is really not cool. Even though you're saving my life, take off the costume. So since the very beginning, things have not been going quite well. And at the end of the fight, we realize it is not Peter Parker, but instead Miles Morales in his first appearance, realizing, yeah, this costume is probably in really bad taste. So I know what many of you are probably thinking right now, Alex, well, how come they put Miles Morales' name on the cover of those comics? If he's Spider-Man, shouldn't he just be listed as Spider-Man? Wouldn't that make more sense? You see, he actually always was Spider-Man. In fact, in the Ultimate Comics shortly after Ultimate Fallout, the all-new Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe was in fact Miles Morales. As you can tell, Miles is on the front cover in a brand new suit, and in fact, Miles' name is nowhere listed anywhere on this set of issues.
Bitch. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. His name is not listed in any of the... Ooh, I can hear myself now. Is not listed in any of... It's not there, okay? Like, it's not there. It's Spider-Man. Like, why are we arguing this? I don't understand. I don't get it.
Even in issue number 25, after 2 years of this book being written, Miles
Make
Morales
it make sense.
is still on the cover, his name nowhere to be found. In fact, he is, at this point in time, the Ultimate Spider-Man of Universe 1610. Now, this is important because what happens here in this series is the fact that in comic books, no villain, no hero, no character ever truly dies. And if you want to know why that's the reason, Max Landis did a phenomenal set of videos about the death of Superman, explaining what actually occurred and how the floodgates were open for any character to basically always come back from the dead. Now, you see, in Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man, the reason why it's listed and written that way and titled is because Peter's back. In fact, he was always alive. Now, this is shocking to everyone because after 24 months of the actual book being written and an entire time frame happening between Peter's death and, of course, him coming back, and in between that, Miles taking up the mantle of Spider-Man, seeing Peter alive and having it explained is really insane. Now, I'm not going to get into reasons why Peter is back because it's really not going to matter in a few months. You'll see why. You see, comic books love to do this thing called a great reset, or they like to relaunch a lot of their issues and series and stories and things like that. Marvel is no different to this. In fact, Marvel did something in 2015 called the Secret Wars, which really were pretty insane. You see, in this series of Secret Wars, I don't want to spoil too much for you if you want to go back and read it, both universes of 1610 and 616 were collided together, becoming one actual universe. Now, with all the Ultimate heroes and the classic 616 heroes and villains all fighting for control of what's happening, something crazy happens, which really, I don't know if it's bad writing, but it's writing nonetheless. You see, Peter Parker and Miles Morales find Molecule Man being trapped in a white room. And what happens is Molecule Man has not had anything to eat for quite some time. Miles Morales then realizes he has a hamburger in his pocket, which he then gives to Molecule Man. So not shortly after Miles gives Molecule Man that 3-week-old hamburger, Molecule Man's actually quite happy. Now, don't worry, we're going to get into who this is in a moment, because this is incredibly important as to what's happening. You see, Molecule Man was given something without any strings attached whatsoever from Miles, basically doing a...
Now, at this point in the video, if you haven't seen this, you're probably like, okay, Alex, what the hell does this have to do with your point about Miles Morales just being Spider-Man? Trust me, he gets there, okay? Just stick with me.
favor for Molecule Man since he was hungry and never had anything to eat for quite some time. After Secret Wars has been completed, not 8 months later, we flash forward to see Miles Morales standing over New York City with his mask taken off, and then a flashback of Molecule Man. As he looks over, he whispers to Miles, "Hey, thanks for the burger. I owe you one." Now you're thinking to yourself, why was that flashback so important, Alex? Why is Molecule Man owing a favor to Miles, and why is he still around? Well, it turns out Molecule Man is completely responsible for restoring the 616 universe. And by Miles giving that favor to Molecule Man and giving him that burger, when the Richards and Molecule Man were then bringing back everyone from the dead, as they always like to do in comic books, Molecule Man keeps Miles around. You see, because he gave him that favor, he kept everything that Miles had lost, his family, his memories, all of that. And Miles now has to live in this new universe, knowing what actually has happened, and then having his family there, all at the same while still having Peter Parker active. You see, not a short bit later, after Miles is now in the 616 universe, the second volume of Spider-Man actually comes out. Interestingly enough, it's called Spider-Men because they are both Spider-Man. And with every sort of little prologue for every comic that actually comes out, both Spider-Men met for the first time when a villain broke through the dimensional wall between their worlds. Both Peter and Miles had a profound experience seeing how each other lived as Spider-Man. So there you have it. Canonically, in the series of comics, Peter Parker and Miles Morales are in fact Spider-Man. Trying to argue that Miles is in fact not Spider-Man completely negates all the years of canon. In fact, the last 12 years of canon in comic books, all because you don't like Miles for whatever particular reason. Now, we had this exact same argument back in 2011 and 2012 when Miles was introduced and saying, "This is not my Spider-Man, where's Peter Parker?" But then the character began to grow and began to get a fan base, and people liked Miles. In fact, what's even crazier is there's one Spider-Man who's my personal favorite, and you'd never guess who it is. That's right, my personal favorite Spider-Man is the Superior Spider-Man. Now, when you realize who this actually is, you're gonna have to take a seat. You see, the Superior Spider-Man is actually Doc Ock. That's right, Otto Octavius at one point became Spider-Man and was then trying to become a hero while also being a villain, and at the same time fighting his own criminal urges while trying to save the city and also fight against the same villains he's actually worked with for so many years. This set of books is honestly fantastic. If you are a Spider-Man fan, I highly recommend the first set of volumes of this because it is incredibly good and really funny, and honestly some of the best writing I've seen for a new Spider-Man. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, if Dr. Octopus can be Spider-Man, so can Miles Morales. And even then, this still continues to this day, because Strange Academy, that released last month, the newest issue, in the prologue even states, "With the help of Miles Morales, the Spider-Man of Brooklyn." And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 12 years of continuity put into your little brain by a simple himbo. Who'd have thought? You see, my problem, though, isn't with the fact that people are arguing against Miles Morales being Spider-Man. No, that's not the case at all. You see, what I think is the real crux of this whole problem is how Insomniac has written the ending of Spider-Man 2. Now, we're going to get into some spoilers here, so if you haven't seen that, you can fast forward ahead. You see, the real issue is how Peter...
So, yeah, he really knows his shit. And the thing is that when I saw this video this morning, I just sat in my delivery van and I was just like, thank you. Like, this is what I've been trying to tell people for so long when it comes to Miles Morales Spider-Man, and they don't know who he is. Like, you know, like, he's not just some random fill-in. Like, he comes from a different universe to where, you know, he comes about his powers in a similar way as Peter does, but in his own way. His Peter, you know, essentially dies at first, and there's no, excuse me, there's no Spider-Man left to protect the city. So now that he has these powers, he takes it upon him to be Spider-Man. Somebody has to. That's the way he sees it. You know, and I don't see why that should make him, you know, insignificant. It's all about the multiverse. For show. Wait, where's Vic the Click? What happened to Vic? Vic, you still here? Where's Vic at? Hold on. Before I continue with this video, where is Vic? There was something I needed to do. Where is he? There he is. Done and done. Yep. He died it. He died it. He really died it.
Peter Parker was written out of being Spider.
Wait, so there's spoilers in the rest of this video, so I don't know if you guys want me to play it right now unless you don't care. So let me know in the chat, because if you're playing Spider-Man 2 and you don't really want to know what happens, then I'll stop playing this. But I just wanted to get that first part out of the way. Dreadpool, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
What is your opinion on, I don't even know if you can call it a fiasco, but just
Misunderstanding?
Yeah, the misconception of who Miles Morales is, you know, and how important he is to actually being Spider-Man himself.
You know, and it's funny because we're going to talk about people my generation and older. Peter Parker will always be Spider-Man, right? So when you look at it like that, okay, there's a lot of people my generation that only know the pop culture side of it. They don't, you know, they don't know the backstories. You know what I mean? So Spider-Man's always been Peter Parker. That's all it's said. It's in the movies. That's all that's been said, and that's all they know. Now, when you go to the comics and you understand the lore and you understand about the multiverse and why they did it, and there's a background history that's been going on for over a decade, and you know, okay, well, for those that know, yes, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Miles Morales is also Spider-Man.
Yep.
And usually it's just to denote the difference between the original and the newer kid that's coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
The newer kid that's coming up has been around, again, over a decade. So to them, this kid is now gaining popularity, where for the hardcore comic fans, they've already known about Miles Morales. They've already been a fan of Miles Morales. They're a fan of both Spider-Man. It is what it is. I'm sure there's some people with their unwavering opinions of things that will never see Miles Morales as Spider-Man, and you know, and to them, whatever, I don't care. But for the fact that Spider-Man is both, we have Spider Noir. I mean, we have Spider Cat. You know what I mean? So
Spider-Man
yeah,
2099. It's just a
yeah.
distinction,
So we
you know,
have
but they're
so
still
many.
Spider
Yeah.
people.
Yes, it's still Spider-Man. It might not be Peter, or it could be another version of Peter, but why does that always have to be another version of Peter? And this is what Miles Morales brings to the table, that, well, there was another version of Peter. It's just Peter's not the only one in this universe that ever happened. You know what I mean? So there could be other people, and lo and behold, there are other people. You even have Silk. Does anybody know who Silk is? No. Again, you have
Exactly.
to know the lore, you have to know more of the backstory and the full history of the
And you could
Spider-Verse.
have another Silk down the line.
Correct.
It's like having two Green Lanterns, you know? I mean, yes, like they're not like their human name is not the same, but they're both Green Lantern of Earth. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just god damn it. It's
Yeah,
just
see, and that's the thing. That's where when you bring in the multiverse, it brings in a lot of confusion for a lot of people. They just think, oh, it's just you in a different variation. Well, yeah, you in a different variation. That doesn't mean that Spider-Man or another hero can be another variation of a person that is not that same entity, right? So it's not um, Dusty Uno. It could be G Maybe. It could be Why So Serious that we're
mm-hmm.
here doing a show with. You know what I mean? Or the two of us are listening to them doing this show in another universe. It just happens to be we're on the stream, we're there in the chat. The other universe, they could be in the stream and we would be in the chat. It is what it is. It's the same show. It's just different people. You know, and that's the whole thing is, again, some people are just very hard-headed, stubborn in their ideologies, because Peter Parker has always been white, and it's like, yeah, but this is not the same scenario. You know, Peter Parker's never been a punk. You know what I mean? You have Venom, and the same thing with this storyline that Insomniac is working on. It's its own storyline. So for Miles to be the main character, cool. You know, wait, what happened to Eddie Brock? Oh, he's not Venom. So again, they're changing it up. It is not the same old that we're used to. And unfortunately, a lot of people are ignorant to the fact that there's more to this. We're not the other universes coming into our universe. We are dabbling in other universes also. And that was the whole thing about the Spider-Verse, was that they were all going into one and
mm-hmm.
mixing and melding and fighting together for their, you know, for their version, so that way they can go back home, you know. But whose home are we in now? You know, again, the question of, uh, you know, do we know? Well, for those that actually follow, we'll know where we're at. We'll know the storyline, you know. And they
Mm-hmm.
even said, you know, Peter died here in this movie, yet here's Peter Parker again. He's overweight, lazy blob that's self-pitying, right? And that's not the Peter we know, but that's the Peter we got because the other Peter died, you know. So a lot
Yeah.
of this stuff you need, you know, before you start. And unfortunately, again, you know, you're talking about people that are ignorant, um, and just are quick to judge because that's all they know, you know. But when you learn more about it, it opens your eyes that, oh, this isn't just this, you know. And that's, you know, sometimes you need that identification as to which version you're talking about. And a lot of times it's harder to remember 616 versus, 610 or 612
Mm-hmm.
or, 88.8, you know. So when you're looking at
Mm-hmm.
those universes, who the fuck knows? Nobody, you know, unless you're in tune with it, you don't understand. But as
Exactly,
a
yeah.
outsider, a normie, none of that makes sense, right? But yet, if you say Miles Morales, you automatically understand. Okay, this isn't the Peter Parker Spider-Man. This is the Miles Morales. Okay, you know, the Spider-Man 2099. You know, you have all these variations because it's Spider-Man this version. Are you ever going to see Spider-Man Peter Parker? More than likely not, because everybody automatically associates Spider-Man as Peter Parker, as Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to that, you usually don't associate the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm sorry, you associate the first one with what you know, and then from there, the identifiers are to, um, identify the deviance from the first one to where we're at now with these other variants, and that's all it is. So when it comes to all that, again, it's it's just again idiocracy out there. You know, let's put some more Gatorade on the grass because Gatorade's good for you and it'll make the grass grow. But yet we can't figure out why we have a sand pit. You know, that it is what it is. People just need to maybe do a little bit of research before they speak up. And I understand like a hot take is a hot take, but you should probably
Make it make sense.
right. You know, again, understand what you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
and before you speak. You know, and again, you know, I understand hot takes because sometimes you just speak out your ass because that's your first reaction. I get it, but after that, educate yourself. You know, and then
Exactly. Yeah.
speak with some knowledge. And then if you still disagree, that's fine, but you have some knowledge as to why you disagree. But understand, like we said before, conversations. You understand the other side. You don't have to agree, but as long as you can understand where the other side's coming from, it's a better conversation. It's a better education for some because again, being ignorant to information does not justify your stupid remarks. So,
Mm-hmm.
but on that note, I got to get going. So, thanks for letting me stop in. Thanks for calling me out.
Most definitely. Most definitely. No, honestly, thank you for joining in. And like I said before, the door is always open when you see I'm getting ready for a stream. If you can and want to, hop right in. By all means, you know. And thank you for your input on the topics tonight.
Anytime.
Really appreciated it. And make sure I know you got to head out, but let everybody know where they can find you on social media real quick.
Yes, just YouTube is Dreadful, all letters. X is well, Twitter. I don't know why I'm starting to say X. It's finally starting to rub off. But on Twitter, it's Dreadful. The O's are actually zeros. Um, but yeah, just go to Linktree, and it's got all my links to everywhere. Anywhere you look, I usually have links to Linktree or other platforms, but Linktree's got the full list as of uh, 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Because last week,
Nice.
last week I just joined Blue Sky, so that's Dreadpool also. I've only posted one post, and it's like it's interesting. But you know, it's still an up and coming thing, invite only, and it's interesting. But yeah, definitely check out all the channels. I've got more haunted houses and other videos coming in. And again, like I said, in the next week, I'm leaving to go to do a special project that'll be probably a couple weeks long. So who knows where I'll be and if I can show up or any of that stuff. But I'll be incognito and MIA. But I'll still stop in and thanks again for everybody that stopped in the chat here to hang out with you. And again, thank you for sending me the invite. A lot of people don't think that I'll take up their offer. It's just sometimes I just can't. A lot of times,
Yeah.
if I can, I'll be here.
Same. You know,
So
I tell
not
people
a
all the time,
surprise.
like, let me know, hit me up. But they think like I might be too busy. But it's like, no, just hit me up anyway. Let me know.
Yep. So again,
Dude, thank
great
you.
conversation. Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Anytime. You're always welcome here. Great conversation as well. Everybody, let's give it up for our good boy Dreadpool, and
Yeah,
we'll see you.
Dreadpool.
We'll see you soon around here again, brother. Catching waves with us, and have a great night or rest of your day, night at work. And yeah, we'll see you soon, bro.
All right. Thanks. Y'all take care.
Laters. Awesome. That was great to have Dreadpool here. That was really cool. Like he I always enjoy listening to him speak just cuz one he's very chill, but two I appreciate his outlook on gaming. And I said this before like when I introduced him, but um I don't know, I just like his perception of how all of this kind of works and goes into each other, and then even when it goes into like speculation town, I really appreciate where he takes his thoughts. Yeah. So shout out to Dreadpool. Thank you so much, brother, for being here. Welcome back anytime. Once again, shout out to Why So Serious for the $15 venti, aka the 3 beers. I like how the notification said Why So Serious bought 3 beers, but it's supposed to be buy me a coffee. I didn't know you could buy beers, but cheers. Thank you, brother. So Why So Serious said, F it, play the rest of the video. So let's get into it for the rest of the show. This is Why So Serious's fault. So if you get spoiled, it ain't my fault. I'm just saying.
Spider-Man having to go
making
and help
waves in the
solve
pool,
global
aka
warming.
the wave
Well, Miles
pool.
Morales is like, yeah, okay, I'll handle it, Peter, bro. You're good. Take a vacation. You see, that really isn't how things should have been written. And I'm going to take the old fedora tip myself, and I'm going to give a quick synopsis of what I think should have actually happened. Are you ready? Here we go. I think at the end of Spider-Man 2, Mary Jane should have died. I think Mary Jane should have completely been written out of the story after a horrible thing happening to her from one of the villains. I don't really care who, but something should have happened to where Peter now has an existential crisis after losing Mary Jane throughout this game. Questioning himself, should he even be Spider-Man if he can even protect the one he actually loves? Now, doing this would have solved 2 specific problems. One, it would have given Insomniac a reason to not include the Mary Jane missions in the future games, thereby giving the actual players exactly what they want, a pure Spider-Man game. And 2, it would have given Peter an actual reason to then hang up being Spider-Man and forcing all of that responsibility onto Miles, even though Miles may not have wanted it in the first place. Peter could have then gone off during that time while Miles was taking care of New York City and then trying to do the exact same work that Mary Jane was doing by saving the environment. You could write it that way and it'll be fine, no big issue. But you see, the thing is this, anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together knows that the third game is more than likely going to include Norman Osborn as the Green Goblin as the big bad. You see, what I think should happen afterwards with Norman Osborn being the big bad is that Miles is completely in over his head. He can't do it alone. He's trying to go after the Green Goblin and failing every single time. He's getting beaten to a pulp at every single capacity he can probably get into. And every time he goes into that fight, he's put down, beaten, and destroyed by Norman Osborn. And things get even worse for Miles as Spider-Man in the beginning half of the game. You see, what happens is Norman now recreates the Sinister Six with him as the 7. So you really can do something like Doc Ock, Kraven, Electro, Sandman, the Vulture. You could even then introduce Mysterio and then have Norman Osborn leading the entire team. With this entire new group of the Sinister Six, with Norman Osborn leading them as the Green Goblin, things go from incredibly bad to way worse. Miles cannot do this alone. In fact, Miles gets put out of commission when all 7 of those villains go after him at the same time and basically just completely eviscerate him to no end during a massive fight that really puts the player in a precarious situation. You see, and this is where things could actually turn around for the story if they write it correctly and would make sense for the third game. You see Peter Parker trying to do what Mary Jane was doing during their time together as she was still around. He's then trying to save the ozone layer. Okay, whatever, do global warming, whatever have you. I don't care what you call it. You see, the thing is this though, Peter finds out that Norman Osborn is in New York City, that the Sinister Six are running roughshod all over New York, and he sees Miles completely beaten, destroyed, his mask coming off, torn apart, almost exposing his secret identity to the entire state of New York and even the world. At this moment in time, though, this is what Peter has realized what he's actually done. Instead of being responsible for what he has to do in the beginning, he actually pushed aside every single responsibility he's ever had and given all that responsibility unwillingly to Miles, who's trying to carry on the mantle of Spider-Man in New York City and failing as he's doing so because he is in way over his head. At this moment in time, Peter should realize what he did was the wrong move, and what he should have done from the very beginning is help Miles and help him be a better Spider-Man and be able to then pass that torch onto him properly instead of forcing it onto him. At this time, Peter should then retake the actual mantle of Spider-Man and then go back to New York to then help Miles defeat the Sinister Six and Norman Osborn. That is how the third game should go. And that, in my opinion, is just the overwhelming idea that I had in my head about what they would do for the third game. And really the only way this would truly make sense of having Miles be the only Spider-Man in New York City. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. This was a long one because this is something very near and dear to my heart. And yes, Spider-Man is Peter Parker and Spider-Man is also Miles Morales. If you like this kind of content, subscribe. If you want to even see more of this, definitely check out the channel. We're doing fanboy videos, gaming news, PC port reviews, Steam Deck videos. This is definitely a one-shot.
So there you have it. Miles is Spider-Man, and I don't know why that should be an argument. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand like why this is really hurting my face. I don't understand why people feel like it's a blackwashing, or they're changing the character, and like, oh my god, they're doing this or doing that, and it's like, no, they're in Insomniac's own way. They're following the comics. Which is what the Marvel Cinematic Universe does. So, I don't know. It is what it is. What's going on in the chat? Shout out to everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me this far. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, Dreadpool, once again for being here. Talos Ray, you're freaking cool, bro. Vic, the motherfucking click. Damn it, Talos, you're cool. Talos Ray is the coolest. The bro. Cheers, mate. Cheers, fellas. Everyone is cool. I don't know about trusting a scroll. True. And you never know who is a scroll. Like Boom. Boom could be a scroll. And none of us ever knew it. Kay Asante could be a scroll. For all we know, Kay Asante could be Nick Fury. You never know. So. But all in all, just to wrap up that topic, like I said, I don't understand. Even if you know nothing of the characters, you know nothing of the comics or the backstory or anything like that, I still don't understand how, especially after knowing about the movies like Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, right? How you could look at Miles's version of Spider-Man and say anything less than, him just being Spider-Man. I don't get it. So, Miles is Spider-Man. Shut the hell up. And let's move on. Shall we? To MBG, you're not going to quit gaming, bro. Like, shut up. Okay? You're not going to quit gaming. But if you are being serious, you need help. Because you can speak as calmly as you want to in your live streams, but you're being dramatic, bro. Like, I hope you clip this. Because that shit that you're doing is really extra. You're going to quit gaming. You're going to give up gaming if Microsoft becomes the market leader, if Xbox becomes number one. Dude, if Xbox becomes number one and you don't want to play on Xbox, just buy a stupid PC. Or wait for the PS6 with no games. Or maybe the PS6 will actually have games. Oh, wait. According to King David, who has been pretty much 98% right this whole time with a 2% margin of error, there ain't going to be no PS6. So just buy a PC, bro. And just wait for the PlayStation games to come to PC. Or if there's no more PlayStation console, just wait for the games to come to Xbox. And then Sony will probably sell you a controller, accessory for the games. But Xbox will make it, like compatible on their system. Just buy the Xbox. Open up a web browser. Download the PC app. Do some cloud game. I don't know, bro. But what I do know is you need help. And this is coming from somebody who has needed help and has gotten help. You need help. You need, as I would tell many people, you need Jesus. But even Jesus is looking at you like, this ain't the move. This ain't the move. My son, this ain't the move. All right. So, back to the chat. G maybe says, if he quits gaming, I hope he dresses up like Solid Snake again and slithers away. Man, dude, okay. You get so excited for a show. You dress up as you dress up as Metal Gear Solid, and then you just completely die on stream for everyone to see. Like, oh. I would have faked being happy. I don't know. You need Jesus, not Jesus. Ooh. Tell him. Talos Ray says, MBG just can't handle it because he changed from Xbox to PlayStation and now he screwed himself up. See, that's why, like, at this point, if he was actually smart, he would just go open platform. Don't be pro PlayStation, don't be pro Xbox, don't be pro Nintendo, just be pro gaming. Dude, just be pro gaming, dude. Like, you already have a platform that people donate to and watch. Just be pro gaming. Like, or just get into PC gaming. At least that way, you know, you have a plethora of games to choose from and a plethora of different ways to have a viable system to run those games. You know, like, just pick a medium and then just stick there. You know, and if you want to be a PC fanboy and be, you know, let me correct that. Not a PC fanboy. I say that because it's MBG. If you want to become a part of the PC master race in your content, cool, fine, we'll do whatever. But at least you're fanboying for a platform that's open. You know, like, PlayStation isn't open. Xbox is open. PC is open. You know, Linux is getting there. Mac is on its way. But PlayStation, that shit's closed off as fuck. So just go PC. Pretty much. Like if you really hate Xbox that much, but you can also recognize that your beloved platform isn't delivering anything to you, just go PC, dude. At least that way you can try Xbox games and you can just create a bullshit like secondary account and nobody has to know it's you. But at least you get to play those games and you didn't have to buy an Xbox. You just had to sign up to Game Pass. Oh, but even that is like way too much for people, you know, apparently. Signing up to Game Pass, you know, like, and even then you don't even need a PC. Like, if you have an iPad, if you have a MacBook, if you have just a regular old laptop and you have good Wi-Fi, you know, and the internals of your device are, you know, are comparable, like, just game on anything. I love gaming on my MacBook Air. You know, to people that sounds really weird. But I'm not just native gaming, I'm cloud gaming, you know, and it's amazing on the MacBook Air. So, you know, I don't know. Talos Ray says, that's right, Dusty. You're right, Talos. Talos Ray says, he's a clown, just like Marlon, the clown. Man, what's his name? J-Dub? Oh my God. Stupid. Why So Serious says, he's just mad because he used to be Xbox. Facts. But my thing is, this is like, why even be mad if you used to be Xbox and then you went PlayStation? Why are you hating on Xbox? I think you should be hating on PlayStation because they ain't giving you shit. And now you got to go back to Xbox and be like, you know what? This is the home I should have stayed at. Like I would be prideful as fuck and be like, you know what? I was here at Xbox and then I left because I felt like Xbox wasn't delivering for me. So I went to PlayStation and I felt like PlayStation was taking care of me. And now I realize it was all a fucking lie. So I'm coming back to Xbox and I'm going to hold my nuts while I come back to Xbox. And I'm going to tell all y'all hating motherfuckers that I'm coming back to Xbox. And I'm going to game on here and I'm going to enjoy myself because I love gaming. And right now, PlayStation ain't making me game. So I'm going to go where the games are. But no, apparently that's just too difficult for these freaking ponies. God. I have a MacBook Air. Hey, yo, let's go. Why so serious? Why so serious says, because he knows he can't come back. He can come back. Just create a different gamer tag, I guess. I don't know. Or keep the same gamer tag, but just change, like, your gamer tag. Like, keep the same account, but just change your tag. I don't know. Vic, the motherfucking click, says, I game on my Surface Pro, got my controller, and I sit outside with the cold beer. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I have the ROG Ally, right? I got my M1 MacBook Air. I have my gaming PC. These are all I have my Xbox Series S. These are all things I acquired over time. This was not all at once, all at the same time, in the same month. You know, I started with one thing, and then later on I was able to do another, and then so on and so forth, right? But with all these devices that I have, it is still so cool that I can just go on my balcony and enjoy, you know, the nice evening breeze or whatever it is, depending on the season. And just pull my phone out if I wanted to and just start gaming. And I don't mean like mobile gaming, which don't get me wrong, I do not hate on mobile gaming. You will never see me do that. I think that's really ridiculous. There are many people that game and they do it on mobile. And I don't understand how that makes them any less of a gamer. Just saying. But to be able to open up something like XCLOUD, or even outside of XCLOUD, right? Like we have Amazon Luna, right? Outside of that, let's say Shadow PC, even though I may not agree with their service right now. Outside of that, Maximum Settings PC. Outside of that, you have you have Moonlight, which you can have a virtual VM on your phone of your local PC or a virtual machine PC that you use from a service. You know what I'm saying? And you're just chilling with a cold beer or whatever, and you're gaming. It's just unreal, you know? Like, I love the devices that I have. But to be able to pull out my Google Pixel 7 Pro, open up the Game Pass app, and just start gaming, like, that's just fucking awesome. It's what I've always wanted. That's why I became, or when I saw that there was a program for Project XCLOUD, and they were only taking 10,000 people to join that program to test it for like a year or 2 years, whatever it was, and I got into the program, that was my shit. And I tried to tell everybody that I knew that this was the way, and this was going to be the way. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know, people were like, no, you're not playing Xbox on your phone, on your iPad. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Come look, I'm playing Madden right now. Let's see, where are we? Talos Ray says, if MBG goes back to Xbox, he will lose all his subs, but he'll gain new ones. Why So Serious says he doesn't want to leave his pony fans that he grew. Yeah, true. Vic the motherfucking click says Alex is the reason why I play my Steam Deck more. Yeah, he's very, very informative, and I like that he like takes a position on trying to look out for the community. You know, I really appreciate that. Vic says I got too many shit to game on. Gave my Switch to my niece and PS5 to my brother. Yo, no, I feel that. Like, I'm even considering giving my Xbox Series S to my youngest stepdaughter, just because like she has my Xbox One S, but she likes gaming, and you know, I want her to have a better system. So I'm just like, when I look around at all my shit, I'm like, why do I have this? But because you grow up on a console, there's just nothing like that console feeling, you know. So even though I have like all my other devices, it's like I love still having my console. It's weird. It's so weird. I need to not like have this crutch. It's so weird. I don't know. G maybe says, so what if he loses a few subs? Gaming will be less expensive for him in the right ecosystem, so he can still fund his hobby. Facts. Why So Serious says, yeah, Alex taught me a lot about my Steam Deck. Vic says, oh wait, no, I already read that. G maybe says, must be sad to cry about a company that doesn't even know you exist. Come back where the grass is green, and at least some of those people will know who you are. Dude, facts. He caps so hard for Sony, and they don't give two fucks about him. And I guarantee you, if he came back to the green side and just made just reputable content, got on podcasts with other like-minded gamers, and he doesn't even have to be super diehard Team Green Xbox, but just be willing to talk about video games and talk about Xbox gaming and Game Pass and cloud gaming and all that shit. Like if he just let himself do that, like, what people like, there would actually be a group of people to gravitate to that, you know what I mean? And people from Xbox and Microsoft, when it comes to like their events and stuff, would, you know, pick him up to like maybe bring him out for something. Like he is leaving so much money potential on the table, it's not even funny. And the same thing with Dreamcast guy. Like, these guys may get the traffic that they're getting and maybe the monetization that they get from it, but I promise you, if they actually turned things around and did reputable shit with their content, they would actually be doing a whole lot more. Because if you really listen to these different content creators, you can say what you want about Dreamcast guy in his face. You can say whatever you want. But when he actually, like, there's few times where he'll drop a video and there's no console warring, there's nothing stupid going on. He's just talking. That's the Dreamcast guy I want. You know what I mean? Like, that's the reviewer I want to listen to. And then he acts stupid in like 10 more videos after that, and I'm just like, all right, bro, do what I guess works for you. You know, what do I know? You know what I'm saying? Why So Serious says, give a PS5, don't do that to them. Deep down, MEG still likes Xbox. Man, he loves Xbox. All of these ponies are fake. They love Xbox. I don't trust them. Stupid. Vic says, MBG 10 needs to start supporting his teeth. Oh my god. You just called him baby teeth. AKA baby steps. Talos Ray says, look at Crap Gamer. He's a flip-flopper. Dude, Crap Gamer is such a crap gamer. Like, real shit. There's really nothing else I can say. He would get baby teeth sponsor. Oh my god. By Invisalign. Why am I not coming up with words? Oh my god. Anyway. Why So Serious says, Dreamcast guy got a lot of holes in his videos. Wow. He, like... Dreamcast guy... See, okay, here's the thing about Dreamcast guy. Before I thought that he's bullshitting and he knows what he's doing, you know, like how Paris called him out and was like, you know, this really ain't him, like he knows what the fuck he's doing and it works for him and it sells. Like Dreamcast guy, when there was a time where I really believed he is that stupid, like the way he explains shit has plot holes. Okay. There are times when people explain things and not everything adds up, right? So you kind of question shit. But when you're somebody who tries to explain shit and you have legitimate plot holes in your entire argument, that's really bad. Like, really bad. Like, where every 5 seconds I'm talking to my phone screen correcting you. And being like, why didn't you just do your research about this? I don't know. Just like his... Told you, just like his face. I can't. Oh my god. The Dreamcast guy salt. May it rain on all of us. Something missing in this vid's a lot of holes. I can't with you guys. I was waiting for that. Oh my god. You guys are hilarious. When that should be happening on the On Point channel, on C Money and Doodle's channel, and shout out to Madman, my nephew. What up, babe? Like that shit is just too comedy because C Money be dying, Doodle be losing it. Madman's like, wow, like that shit is just hilarious. I can't with you guys. Vic says, I can't watch Dreamcast guy videos. I get trypophobia. What is trypophobia? Let me see. Did I even say that right? Trypophobia? Trypophobia? Trypophobia. Trypophobia is an aversion to the sight of irregular patterns or clusters of small holes or bumps. It is not officially recognized as a mental disorder, but may be diagnosed as a specific phobia if excessive fear and distress occur. That's so fucked up. Most affected people experience mainly disgust when they see trypophobic imagery. That is so fucked up. Oh my god. I can't. A fear of holes. I'm glad I don't have a fear of holes. Pause. Oh my god. Trypophobia. That's crazy. Pics of holes in hand. Holes. Oh my god. So before I end the stream, I wanted to, since I have the chat here, I wanted to ask you guys really quick. Let me know, fire off really fast. What games are you playing right now? Whether you're in the live or you catch the replay later on, let me know in the comments. But what games are you playing right now? After this stream, I'm going to be hopping on some Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. I've been waiting for that one to drop into Game Pass, and it's finally here. Go check your stores. If you don't see it in your Game Pass library, go to the Microsoft Store, and it should be available through there. But other than that, I've been dealing with things over the last month that like it's been really hard to actually just like play anything you know? Like, I've opened a few games here and there, but I don't really count that as, like, playing something, just because I was just, like, trying to just pass whatever time I had. So, for me, it's like, if you're not playing a game right now, what game are you looking forward to? So, for me, tonight, I'm looking forward to Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. So, yeah. What games are you guys playing? Let me know in the chat before we head out of here. Let's see. What else is there to talk about? Blacked. I can't. Can't remember. What else happened in gaming news this week? Huh. Let me open up my... Let me see this real quick. Let's see. Why So Serious says, I'm playing Alan Wake 2 right now. Ooh, nice. How you enjoying that, brother? How's that gameplay going along so far? I've heard nothing but great things. Like, I've heard not one bad review. An app up... Oh, that looks new. Oh, I see it. The game showed up for me. Nice. I'll update that later. G maybe says, I beat Jusant and went back to Starfield after. How many hours was Jusant? G maybe? I really like that art style. Talos Ray says, I'm playing Achilles. Vic says, Warzone Madden. Yo, I'm looking forward to Warzone. I'm looking forward to DMZ Zombies or DM Zombies or Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. So if anybody wants to run that with me, when I can finally hop in and play, let me know, because I'm really looking forward to that mode. So, Why So Serious says it's good so far. G maybe says he doesn't see that Like a Dragon game. Check it through the Microsoft Store if you can. I only see Ishin and Game Pass. Yeah, check through. Don't check through. If you don't see it through Game Pass, check through the Microsoft Store itself. Why So Serious says the best graphics on Series X so far. Vic says zombie, we in there, bro. Oh, hell yeah, Vic, let's run it. Talos Ray says I started playing the first Alan Wake, the 360 version. I like it. Nice. That's what's up. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's dope that like both games, like the first game is critically acclaimed and like has, you know, a lot of great praise and has had a lot of great praise, and the second game just seems to be, you know, knocking it out of the park. So you'd love to see it, especially in an era right now where like almost every game releases like, you know, trash. So I think one of the games that I can say that if I had to answer what am I playing right now, that I go back to casually, like more than any other game, has been Star Wars Battlefront 2. I love Starfighter Assault. I love the space battles, so much fun, and I love flying around too. So I tend to like open that game up when I'm just like I need to play something and I don't want to have to play something that makes me, you know, have to do complex shit. So Why So Serious says it's so different. She maybe says it says 13 hours was my play time. That was after I went back for the missing achievements. Okay. I think the game is closer to 5 or 6 hours, but I wander a lot. That makes sense. Okay. But if you're just like focused on getting through the game, then it's probably like a 5-hour game, maybe a 4-hour game, depending. That's what's up. Nice. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad everybody's enjoying what they're gaming on right now. Warcraft Rumble is sucking my life. Oh shit. So you're a WoW head? Oh, that was the other bit of news that came out. So Vic, how do you feel about World of Warcraft coming to consoles soon? I am not a WoW player. I don't think I really ever have been. But for somebody like me, this would encourage me to try it. Even though I have a PC and can try it right now. Why so serious? Yeah. There we go. Sorry, I was checking something on my Mac. I never played WoW. WoW was never my thing back in the days. WoW Rumble is just fun. Neither have I. Got you guys. Now, because it's coming to consoles, is it something that you feel is worth checking out? Because it is coming to consoles. Because I know there was people who never played Age of Empires 4, but because, you know, it came to consoles, they were like more inclined to finally want to check it out. So does it pique your interest at all in that regard? Why So Serious says, one of my favorite games is Link to the Past. I wish they go back to that style. I would try it because Xbox. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Like if it was coming to PS5, you probably wouldn't care as much. Kind of like Baldur's Gate 3, the way the ponies didn't care about that shit coming to console. Vic says, since I'm an X-bot, I will play it. I'll play anything that comes to Xbox because I'm an X-bot and I do whatever I signed up for in Game Pass. Yeah, it is coming to Game Pass, right? WoW console. Ooh. I tried to since it would go to Game Pass. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel. Alright, y'all. I think it's time I head up out of here. Try some Like a Dragon Gaiden. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much to my mods. Love having you guys around. You guys are my peoples. I'll try to get online more and stream more on the channel. Especially like, you know, live gameplays where I can, you know, just kick back and just talk with you guys about whatever. Instead of just streaming on Wednesdays. So I'm trying to figure something out. Maybe like Tuesdays or Thursdays I can do like the idea I had for Game Pass nights, kind of like boogie nights, but like for Game Pass. And you know, just pick a different Game Pass game and just chill for a bit, play some good music, you know, play some games and have a good conversation. So thank you once again, everybody, for being here. As always, whether you catch the replay or you catch the live, you know the vibe. Hit subscribe, give a like, and turn them notifications on. And I'll see you guys next time. Shout out to Vic the Click, the motherfucking Click. Shout out to Talos Ray for always being here. Much love to you, fam. Shout out to Why So Serious, my brother. Shout out to G Maybe, my other brother from another mother. Shout out to Dreadpool for being a great guest on tonight's show. Because I was just gonna run this solo, but he dropped through at the last second, so I appreciate that. Shout out to Silent Cypher for stopping through. Absolutely appreciate you, fam. Shout out to... Wait. Want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Shout out to Shintaro Yagasaki for being here. Much love to you, brother. Always great seeing you, as always. Let's see. My boy Richter was up here in the chat. Much love to you, brother. Enjoy the music on your way out. Hit some vibes. And if you got a beer in your hand, cheers. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace. And keep on gaming. Yo, G maybe, you are fucking right. I need to get back on the Anime and Beyond show. You are goddamn right. Let me hit up C Money. I'll hit up C Money. You goddamn right.